Good afternoon. We are going to do scientific writing, which is quite different than when you write normally. And I remember many years back, Professor Kao asked me to start this course. I said, why should I do this course? Then he said, the students don't know how to write. I said, is it because the language is English? And he said, no. The problem is not the language. The problem is how to write. Even in Chinese, probably the student won't be able to write. So that's the need for this course. So we need to know how to write a thing technically. So technical writing or scientific writing is completely different when you write a story or a poetry or an essay. So that's what we are going to do. And you don't have to read everything. This is all in the course content. So we have 16 weeks. Out of that, I will teach only up to here. The rest is our project. So in Yangming campus or Yangming Chaota campus, you will see there are many technical writing courses, maybe 2 or 3, but it's not hands-on. They just tell you what to do. But here what I do is we really write. We really write your manuscript or your thesis. We really write. So this part, 9 to 16, is I go to you, sit down with you with your laptop and we write. And these assistants will also help you. So how to design a figure, how to do everything, we will do that. And that's hands-on. Today we have, it's pretty simple. Today we are going to learn the basics of technical writing. So I will start with some examples and then try to ask you some questions. I have some assignments with me already. So you need to write. And what you need to bring is this. So you need a writing pad, okay, just like few papers, okay, to write something for class notes. At some point of time, you will need a laptop that has Word and Origin, which is a graphing software. If you use, let's say, MATLAB or Excel, that's fine. But the professional one is Origin. If you have Origin, that's better. If you use MATLAB, that's fine. If you use Excel, that's fine. But remember, with the figures that you produce with Excel is not publishable quality, nearly. It is not very good. So Origin is required. And you will also need Photoshop. Any version is fine. Because when we make a figure, that figure should be TIFF, TIFF, and it should have a particular resolution and size. So that's why we need this one. If you have a plastic file, that's better. So plastic file like this one. All your class notes or something you can put. So you need this. If you have this, is okay. Or if you don't have it, it's fine. I will give you a book, very, very thin book, maybe less than 50 pages that you can use. The PowerPoint slides I will be using, I will also give you, so you can have that. And last of all, you need some data. That's why this class is not for the first year, for second year or something. Some data to write your own manuscript. So that's our project that we will do from week 8. So this is the structure of the course. First 8 weeks, I am on board. Next 8 weeks, I will be with you, sitting with you. We try to learn what is technical writing. The essence of technical writing, that's the most important thing. What is technical writing? So what do I do with technical writing? So please watch me very carefully what I do. Then I will ask you a simple question. So now we have this. The question is, what is this? Tell me. So you have to talk to me. And I will need many, many points. Tell me, what is this? My hand. Oh, palm. You mean palm? Yeah. Any other tries? So first question is, what is this? You should tell me this is a graph, a picture, or a MRI data, ultrasound. What is this? Yes, it's a drawing. So the basic thing is it's a drawing or a sketch or something. So drawing of what? Hand. Anything else? So my question now is drawing of a hand. Does it describe this thing complete? I understand everything of this picture. You say the color of the pen is blue. Maybe I can draw it with red. So it does not describe this thing completely. It is not. There are many, many points. So it's a left hand. It is not my right hand, it's left hand. It's a human hand. What else? Man's hand, woman's hand. What else? So you are asking this question. Does it describe this thing completely? So the word completely is important. All of these describe this thing completely. What if it's still me, it's the blue pen? What if I draw the hand like this? The picture is completely different. So how you look at the hand is important. Frontal view or dorsal view. Because when you write your figure, you put a mouse, the mouse is lying like this or lying like that is important. You have to tell that I took the MRI of the mouse lying like this or lying like that. So either frontal or dorsal, that's another point. What kind of view is this? So for this, you need to know a little bit of technical things. For example, when you look at it, any object, let's say this one, you look at it like this, or you look at it like this. This is like a cross section, like this. If your camera or your USG camera, MRI camera or something is looking like this, it's called a top view. What if you are looking like this? It is neither a cross section nor a top view, but like this. It's called a tilted top view. So these will be very important for you guys. When you do SEM, scanning electron microscope, or you do transmission electron microscope, what kind of image it is? Top view, cross section, tilted top view is important. Tilted top view. So in this case, it's just a drawing, so I don't have any problem. If I just say it is frontal or dorsal, that will be enough. You can write more. It's not a kid's hand. Kid's hand will be much smaller or maybe different. So there are other issues you can write. So now you understand what is technical writing. Simple thing, just this left hand. You need to write so much about this thing. So this explains what is technical writing. You have to explain this thing completely so that not only in Taiwan, people living in US, Germany, India, China, everybody should understand what is this. When you say, I can similarly ask you a simple question, what is this? You have to answer in a way that anybody in the world can understand. For example, you read scientific papers. So you download the paper and you start reading and you see the experimental part. We purchase this chemical from that company and then we use so many milliliters of water mixed with something. Everything is in very detail. How much they are using, what they are using, the concentration, the volume, everything is written in the paper. Why it is written? It's written because when the manuscript, you have a manuscript, so this is a paper, okay? This is not a manuscript. What we submit to the journal is a manuscript. After it is published, it becomes a paper. So you should understand the difference between manuscript and a paper. This is a paper, but if you just give something like this, that's a manuscript. This is a paper. So when we give the manuscript to the journal sends this manuscript to different experts of the field, and they ask that all the experiments are written in such a detail that anybody else can do the experiment. I mean, let's say this is my manuscript. So I give this manuscript to a journal, and Aaron is the editor of a journal. Now Aaron will give this manuscript to you as an expert, and he will ask you, look at the experimental. Did the author write it very clearly so that Saptami can do the experiment? Then you check. Yeah, it is written in great detail. So that means not only me, the author, even somebody else can do the experiment. Should be that clear. So it must be that detailed and clear. So just take a very simple example. If I ask you the question, who are you? What would you say in that detail? If I ask you, who are you? You will just tell your name, right? I am ABC. No, that's incomplete. If I have 100 students, if your professor has 100 students, and he'll say, I am your student. I say, come on, I forgot. Who are you? And I say, my name is Aaron. No, Aaron is not a name. What is your surname? So he says, oh, I am Aaron Liao. Then I say, can you tell me which year you are? First year, second year, third year, master's, PhD? Then I say, okay, I am Aaron Liao. I am a second year master's at the Institute of Biophotonics, National Yangbing Chauta. Then I understand. It has to be in that detail. So who are you is not a very easy question. It's a difficult question. I have to think that how much I should tell. Okay, of course, I should not say that I am from Taiwan, I am from India, I am this many years old, I live over here. That's a different thing. But it has to be in such detail that everybody can understand who are you or what this figure is about. So this is what technical writing is. So throughout this course, we will be doing this. Throughout the course. It's only about this. How you do, whether your grammar is 100% correct or not, don't worry. When you write something, if you give it to the journal, they will fix it. If it is more or less okay, it's fine. Each detail, whether every word is correct or not, no need to worry. You just write the basic part, the rest they will fix it. So don't worry about the very detail. The English language is not that important. Important is technicality. Technicality should be okay. Okay? So this is one thing. The next thing we do is a very, very simple thing. So this is the basic of technical writing. Now, the first technical writing that we do is writing a letter. Not the email really, just like a letter. So the question is, do you know how to write a letter? Writing a letter. This is one thing that we need to know. First thing of technical writing, writing a letter. Of course, you can ask me, why do I need to learn writing a letter? I know. I can guarantee you, you don't know. There are technicalities involved. And why we need to learn it? For example, when we submit a paper to a manuscript to a journal, the top page is a letter. We call a cover letter. The top page is a cover letter. So we need to know how to write a letter. Why? Because when we write our manuscript, the first thing that comes on the top is a cover letter. So we need to know how to write a letter. So first, the job is very easy. Next, I will give you a tougher, more difficult job. Okay? So the first job is pretty simple. Write a letter to your professor or somebody, okay, asking for a day's leave, okay? A simple letter. So you write in the paper. It should not take you more than 5 minutes. And then I show you how it should be done. If you know how to write a letter, you will know how to do this. If you are done, keep it with you. I will just show you the structure. You can see how many of you or how much of it is correct or not. Okay? So now I write a letter. First thing, today is 13? Okay. You can write 13th September 2022, or you can write any of that is okay. This is the first thing you do. The next thing is you are writing this letter to whom? So, to. And remember, it has a margin. This is your page, okay? When you write to, the T is capital. Don't write, that's wrong. And comma. To, comma. And then somebody's name, okay? Dr. So-and-so. And who is this guy? Now I am following this principle. I am trying to describe who is this guy. So he is a professor or something at this institute, and you should write full. I am writing in small just because I want to save time. So you should write National Yangming Chiao Tong University. But now we have 2 campuses, Taipei, Hsinchu. Okay? So this is the to part. So first comes date, next comes the to part. Okay? And then is the most important thing, subject. You write sub. And then underline it. I am mostly sure maybe 90% of you did not do this. So you need this subject. Then you start. If it's a male, you say sir. If it's a lady, you say madam, okay? Whichever. If you know the name, you can write Dear Dr. Chen or Dear Dr. something. So this is called the body of the letter. I would request a leave on such and such date, okay, 20th September or something, as I have an appointment with a doctor. Simple, okay? Stop. Then not in the same line, in the next line, thanking you, comma, then your name. Now I asked you, who are you? The same thing comes here, okay? So I am thanking you, so I am Aaron Liao, second year MS, Institute of Biophotonics, and NYCU, something like this. This is the structure of a letter. You start with the date, then the to part, then the subject, then the body, and then that's you. You got the structure? That is the structure. You can make this bigger or small, longer or shorter, that's fine. But this is a structure. So you should copy this and keep this paper with you. Copy this as a reference, as an example, and keep this paper with you. If you have done this, do a very simple self-evaluation. So if you have done everything correctly, then give yourself 10 out of 10. If you have not, you judge how much correctly you have done. So 100% correct is 10. This is a score of a class assignment, 8 students, and I got 8 scores. Maybe if I had 200 students, I would have got 200 scores. So this is my data. I would like to present it as a figure. How would I do it? Just to give you a flavor of technical writing. Now I got some data and I want to present it. How would I make a figure out of this data? What kind of figure? I want to make a figure and to give it to somebody. How would I do it? Bar. Very, very good. Bar is probably one option. Any other idea how I can present that data? Table. Okay. So first option is a bar diagram. Second option is a table. Any other option? Pie chart. Okay, I will try that also. Anything else? Line plot, scatter plot? You are trying to say scatter plot, that means with dot, x-axis, y-axis, like this. Scatter plot, that's called a scatter plot. Let's see how this data over here look like. So let's say table. If I want to make a table, how many number of columns, how many number of rows should I do it? When I do this, this is called designing. I am designing a table. I am thinking how many columns I should make. Should it be just, or should it be I can do both. So here is student ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Full marks is 10. And the scores are something like this. And then I end the table. It's fine, as long as the number of data is few. If the number of data is 100, you cannot do this. It becomes very big and it's very difficult to read. So this is okay if the number of data is very few. Otherwise, this is not okay. So in general, this is not okay for this kind of data. It doesn't give us any information, any scientific information. If I want to do a scatter plot means you have a y-axis, you have x-axis. I have to determine what is x and what is y. So x is probably student, okay? And y is probably the score. Now you see we have a problem here because each of you got one score. So it is not like student 1, student 2, student 3. Then it again becomes like a table. So you say student 1 got 2. It looks like a bar diagram, okay? Student 2 got 1, and then somebody got 7, somebody got 4. Looks like a bar diagram. The only thing is, instead of the bar, you just have a data. Okay? If you join these data points, it looks like it's not very good, right? So whatever, bar diagram is the best option. However, even in a bar diagram, what would be this and what would be that? This one is the score. And our full marks is 1 to 10. Okay, let's say here is 1. So 1, 3, 7, 9. Okay, and this number of students. So if I do this, how it will look like? Score is 1, 2 people. Score 2, 2 people. Score 3 is 1. Anybody score 4? Okay, 1. 5, 5, 1. 6, nobody. 7. And then it's like this. Okay? Can anybody tell what kind of distribution is this? I got a bar diagram. Okay? And it looks like this. If I join the top points, it looks like this. So I'm trying to, whatever data I have, with that data I'm trying to present a scientific figure which carries some meaning, some kind of meaning. Of course, if I had more data, this would have looked much better. So if you look at this, this is not a distribution in any case. So now my question is, do you have any idea that if I collect such kind of data from a large group of students, how it would look like? When you give exams, the distribution is very unique. So what is that called? It looks like this. But this is mostly called a Boltzmann distribution. Okay. Now let us explain what is going on over here. This is score, that's score. This one we call frequency. So can you see how many students scored very, very small? How many? Very small. So out of 100, how many people scored like less than 10? Very few, you see, right? Because the frequency is very small over here, so small, right? How many people scored like 95, 96, 97? Very few, right? So where is the most number of students? Where are they? In the middle. In the middle. So most of the students are here. They scored 60, 70, 80. So this is a very normal distribution. Very few people will fail. Very few people will score very high. Most of you will be over there. However, this does not match. So when you write that I use that data to make this one up, if you have more data, you will see it will definitely follow this trend. However, you can still make it. Over here, instead of score, we would use score range. What does that mean? People scoring from 0 to 2, then people scoring from 3 to 5, 6 to 8, maybe 9 to 10. If you do that, you will see you will get better data. So this is not really the score, it is the score range. If you change this with a score range, you will get a better data. And number of students, instead of number of students, change it to frequency or percentage of student or percentage. Then you will get a better data. Now, most of you are confused that what are we doing? I gave you one simple job. From that, I got a data. You will have data when you do experiment like this. It's your job now to choose what kind of presentation you are going to make. You have a data. You have the option of making a pie chart. You have the option of making a scatter plot, bar diagram, table, or other kind of stuff. It is your designing. So you need a design. For the best presentation of your data, you have to think about that. Different types of data will be presented in different ways. So you need that. I will do a lot about this later, but this is called designing. You have to design. So that's how you write a letter. This is my letter. So here is a paper. that I read. What is this? This part is called abstract. What is abstract?
It's a briefing.
Briefing, okay. For example, this paper is like 7 or 8 page and the abstract is just like 1 paragraph. So you have to choose, this is the data that they want to tell us. In short, it is this, right? So this is called, normally we say it's a gist writing. It's a gist writing. In English, if you say what is gist, gist is any part of text that you shorten to 1/3. You write something, you got a paragraph, you got some writing which is about this, and you write it about that. That's called a gist. So this is 1/3. If you got a document which has 100 words, your gist should be 30 words. You might ask me, what about this? This is the gist of a gist. So because it is 8 page, maybe contains 3,000 words, and this is less than 200. So that's what a gist is. This is the most difficult of technical writing. If I tell you that write as much as you want, you are free to write. You keep on writing, okay? And you write all garbage. But if I ask you, what is your job? Can you tell me in 2 sentences? Aaron, what you are doing? Can you tell me in 2 sentences? Completely. Then you think, oh, that's not a very easy thing to do. It's very, very difficult. So to use few words and still completely describe your work, that's very challenging. You can do it with practice. I cannot really teach you. I can show you the rules. I can show you how to do it, but it needs practice. It's not easy. So I will have a document, then I show you how to do that. So now we are in gist writing. So I got a document from a newspaper. This is a news, and I ask you, write a gist of this document. Then what I need to do? First, what I need to do is very quickly, roughly, calculate the number of words. If this is in Word, it's very easy. You highlight, and the end of the word, it will tell you this many number of words. I know that this 300 words, so I need to write my gist in about 100 words. So how do I do? First thing, underline the data. What is data? Data is objective. If you have some name, underline them. If you have some numbers, underline them. And if you have some, okay, these are names, underline them. That's a name, underline them. And then read the whole story, what it says. And then write it in 100 words containing all the underlined data. Write it in your own words. When you write gist, you don't follow the same writing. Remember, the wording of the abstract does not match with the exact writing. It's different. So the abstract and the conclusion, they are virtually the same, but they are never the same in words. They are different. The story is the same. If you read the conclusion, if you read the abstract, they are the same, but the language is different. So you do the same here. Underline the data. You know the rule. 300 words goes to 100 words. And write in your own words, which is different from this. But should contain the data, because without the data is incomplete. If you can do that, and when I say 100, don't think that it has to be 100, exactly 1/3. Okay, plus minus 10, that's fine. So this is gist writing. This would be required when you write an abstract of your thesis. Your thesis is 100 page, 200 page. The first page is abstract. You need to finish the whole story in 150, 200 words. That's the abstract. And that's what you write. I gave you one paragraph. It's just a small news. So just write first do this. Underline the data in this paragraph. Yeah. Underline the data and then write a gist of this in 1/3 of the number of words in your own word. Okay? First underline the data in this paragraph. Underline the data. What is data? Data is name, information, or numbers. So it can be some name, somebody's name, some group's name, some name of a place, name of something. And if you have data, number, underline them. Then read the whole paragraph. It's a news, so it's very interesting. It tells you who makes the largest number of chips in the world. So for Taiwan, that's very important. Who makes the largest number of chips? And who is number 2? Who is number 3? Taiwan is number 1. Who is number 2? Read the paragraph, then you will know. Who is number 3? You will get that information from here. So first underline the data, then you write down in your own words. Okay, I think most of us are done. I will move to the next topic. The first topic that we will do now is called punctuation. This one. Most of you know this. However, the usage, maybe you don't know a few of them. Mostly you know. So first is the easy ones. So I will just follow the keyboard and try to write. So this is called a, what is this? That stop, okay? How do you call it? So it's a full stop, or somebody call it period. So we need to know the name of these, because when you are proofreading, I will at some point of time I will teach you proofreading. So that's a different concept. So you need to know what these punctuations are called. What are the English names of this punctuation? So that one is called full stop or period. Okay? So everybody knows this one. What is this? Yes. This one? This one? Yeah, surprise, yeah. It's basically surprise. So in English it is called exclamation mark. What is this? Hyphen, yes, hyphen or dash. So this is called hyphen or dash. However, you will see there is another one. Press shift and do that. So like a, this is not hyphen or dash. You understand? Dash comes in the middle of the line, but this one comes at the bottom of the line. So this is called underscore. Okay? That one is called underscore. That one is dash or hyphen in the middle of the line. What is that? Semicolon, right? This one is called semicolon. Okay? So the next one is this. This one is a comma with a dot, and this one is both are dot. Okay? This is a colon. Okay? Mostly we will use this. There is another one you will see on the top of your keyboard, which is like this. This is, normally we use it as and, but it is, in reality it is called, it's called ampersand. This one is basically and. The usage is like and, but it's called ampersand. These ones, you have it near the right hand side of your keyboard. It looks like this. So these are called double inverted comma or quote. I will tell you how to use them. There is another one which is not double, like this. What else we have? We have covered most of it, and then slash. Okay? These are called slash. Forward and backward, but both of them are called slash. So these are the punctuations we are going to use in our writing. Some of them I would suggest not to use, and I will tell you the basics. Most of you know what are these, what are these. Most of you know. The problematic ones are this one, this one, this one. These are the problematic ones. So I will show you in very simple way how to use these ones. So these ones mostly you know. Semicolon. Semicolon is used like a full stop. So you want to break your data or you want to break your information, but you don't want to put a full stop, you put a semicolon. So you can write, today is hot, semicolon, we cancelled our plan. Now see the difference. I could have just put a full stop and make that W capital. That's much easier. However, you can also do it like this way. So the difference between a full stop and a semicolon is that after semicolon you can use a small. After full stop you have to use capital. Okay? So normally I will give you a small book. They tell us if you are not sure, don't use it. Sometimes you will think in my writing, let me write something like Shakespeare, a big word, okay? And you are not sure. Chances are high that you will make a mistake. So don't do that. If you are unsure, don't do it. So my suggestion is, although semicolon is used in our writing, don't use it. Just use a full stop and a capital. So that's a semicolon, okay? Colon. What is a colon? Colon sometimes we have to use, especially in the title. You have a thesis title or a paper title, colon needs to be used. So how a colon is used? So colon is also very similar to a semicolon. But the thing is, this word need to be a capital. This word need to be a capital. So for example, if you write hyperthermia, this is a new kind of a treatment for cancer. You put a colon, then you start. So that's the use of a colon. You give a word and then you explain it. Hyperthermia, colon, a new treatment for cancer. That a is capital, which was not the case for a semicolon. So that's the difference. However, the usage is virtually the same. So colons mostly we use in the title. Otherwise, normally we don't use. In continuous flow writing, we don't use colon. Sometimes we use it after naming the section. So you will see when we structure the manuscript, we write introduction. And then we put a colon. Sometimes we write conclusion. We put a colon. So it's always in the title. Title of the section, title of the manuscript, we use this. Otherwise, in normal writing, paragraph writing, we don't use colon. So forget about semicolon and colon in paragraph writing. Only in the title you use them. Otherwise, don't use it. So these two are done. Ampersand, we don't use it. We have no use for it. So forget. Inverted comma and single inverted. These two are a little. So I just give you very basic distinction of these two. If you are copying somebody's word, somebody said something, exact words, that should come in double inverted comma. Okay? So for example, if I want to write Barack Obama said, somebody said something, and you have to use the exact words. Exact, you cannot change. Then, comma, open inverted comma. So this is one of his famous lines, right? Yes, we can. Okay, during his election, he used these words. So this is somebody telling something. Okay, so open inverted, double. This is double, double. Somebody is telling this. Is double. So this is this one. Or sometimes we call quote. So that's a quotation mark or double inverted. So this one is open, this one is close. So open inverted, close inverted. Together we call it this. That is the use. Okay? Now you will ask me then, what about this one? Single. What about this? This is the name of something, name of a book. This is the name of a book. Who wrote this book? Stephen Hawking. A Brief History of Time. So when you write the name of a book, it's in single inverted. So you know what is this and what is that. Okay, mostly it is like that. You know the use of full stop. I would rather end up with one very important use of comma. The use of comma, I forgot this. What is this? Some people call it first bracket, some people call it parenthesis. So it's either first bracket or somebody calls it parenthesis. Whichever you prefer, that's fine. So you just say open first bracket, close first bracket. Just like open inverted, close inverted. So when you start, it's open and then it's close. Open bracket, close bracket. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Both together is we normally call parenthesis. Mostly we know how to use them. I will give you one example of the use of double comma, two commas, how to use them. So this comma can be used in a very beautiful way to make your writing much smaller. I will use two comma, which will be very similar to the parenthesis. For example, Sagar, comma, a second year PhD student, comma, is the TA for this course. So I have used two comma, and in between this describes Sagar. So who is Sagar? Sagar is this guy, a second year PhD student. Why I say that this two comma behaves like a parenthesis. So it's just like this. Why? Because if you remove this part, the sentence is still okay. If you remove that part, Sagar is the TA for this course, is still okay. So this is the use of two commas, and you will have to use it mostly. All of you need to use this. Gold nanoparticles prepared by the Turkevich method were used as the search enhancer. This will make your writing smaller and smaller. Okay? So learn how to use these two commas together. So we call it like a, whatever in between the two commas, you describe the first thing. So if this is a subject, adjective or description, and then this is the predicate. Predicate. So in a sentence you have a subject and you have some kind of adjective or description, and then you have the predicate. So you put the adjective between these two commas, so that's fine. So just remember, there is this something, you describe that something, and then you end the sentence. In a way, even if you remove this part, the sentence is still okay. So the use of two comma. So if you know this, you will know the use of punctuations. The trouble is, when you type and you are typing very fast, you miss the punctuations. You miss it. You will see there will be a lot of, you want to put the full stop is not there. It's missed. These are technical things which are your professor or whoever you give the document to will not like it. Your punctuations must be correct. Now you see, punctuation is not really language. You need to know it, it is technical. You cannot say, I am not very good in English, so my punctuations are wrong. No, you cannot say that. Punctuations must be correct. No matter you know English or don't know English. Punctuations must be correct. I end up with a rule. This is the biggest thing. The rule is after every punctuation there is a space. When you put a punctuation, your thumb must hit the space bar. If you do this mistake, that means if you either put 2 space or don't put any space, that's a very bad mistake. So punctuation must be followed by a space. Why I put the single inverted? Because this space means this long thing in your computer, that space bar. You must hit it after every punctuation. No matter you put a full stop or a comma or a dash or bracket, you must have that. That's the rule. Don't forget this. Write it somewhere. You cannot write, for example, like you end up a sentence with a stop and then start again. No, that's wrong. Stop, space, and again. This is right. After every punctuation, there must be a space. So this is all about punctuation. Now you see that even if your grammar is wrong, your professor or some software can fix it. But these things cannot be wrong. This is technical. These things cannot be wrong. So if you are unsure, don't use it. Make your life easy. Just use full stop, comma, that's it. We mostly can do it. With only full stop and comma, I can finish one document. Unless I want to make it more fancy or something. Mostly with these I can do it. So when using it, be sure how to use it. Otherwise, don't use it. So basically, why you come here for this course? Either you want to write your thesis or you want to write a manuscript. These are the only 2 reasons. You want to write a thesis, your thesis, master's, PhD or something, or you want to write your manuscript to send it to the journal or something. So for that, you will need files. So this is for manuscript submission. So you have a document, you put all your data, your research data that all of you have, and you and your professor together writes down something, some document, and then you send it out to the journals for publications. So we need to know what kind of files we need. The first thing that we need is the first thing that we did today, is a cover letter. So we need a letter. That's why we learned how to write a letter. Second thing we need is the manuscript document. And this manuscript can be anywhere between 20 to 40 page long. When I say page, what is a page? This is a page, A4. 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. And this is double space, not single space. You understand what is double space, single space? Double space means the gap is more or less. So there are many, like 1.15, 1.5, and 2. This must be 2. And the size of the font is 12. 12 font, double space, A4. This is A4. And the font, what font type? Okay, Times New Roman, and the other one is Calibri Arial. So this is the definition of a page. And of course, when you use A4 page, there must be 1 inch margin everywhere. So this is the A4 page, and this is where you type. So all these are 1 inch. So that's a page. So your manuscript or your project should have between 20 to 40 manuscript pages. So roughly 20 to 40 pages. And the definition of page is this. So at the end of this project, you should have this with you, 20 to 40 pages of writing. So that's the manuscript. Sometimes you will see this paper is only like 8 pages. So where are those 40 pages? But remember, this is not double space. This is double column, single space, and lot of other formatting. Roughly, I give you an idea. How many typed pages is how many paper pages? Normally, it is not 4, it is 3, approximately 3 point something. So if you have a manuscript which is 40 page, you can understand your paper will be approximately 10 page long. So you have a manuscript with these many typed pages. Currently, the journals are very, very tough. They not only ask you to give the manuscript, they ask you supporting information, more data. So the important data is in the manuscript, and you also need to put other less important data should be in the supporting file. That is also called electronic supporting information. supporting or supplementary. This is called ESI, electronic supporting information. You also need to have this file. So these three are the most important. You must have these three. Other than these three, there are two more files you will need. One is a table of content graphic. You need to have a picture. This picture can be real data, can be a schematic, can be a table, can be anything that tells the whole story of the work. So that's a table of content graphic. It's normally it's a picture. You can have some data or you can have some bar diagrams or something. So table of contents graphic is normally a picture with some writing here. You will also need this. Finally, you will need a highlight file. This is very simple. Highlight is a Word file. What is this Word file? They will ask you 3 to 4 sentences in a bullet form. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 4 sentences that describes your work. The first line can be a new method for cancer imaging was developed, and then it integrated MRI with PET-CT. Second line, resolution of 6 micron achieved. Something like this that describes your work. Just 3 or 4 sentences. That's a highlight file. So 5 files you need. Cover letter, manuscript, ESI, TOC, we call this TOC, TOC, table of content. It's a graphic file. You will need very nice softwares to make this. And a highlight file, which is a Word file, basically, .doc or docx. So these are the files that you will need for a submission for a manuscript. So mostly what we will do, we already nearly learned this one. I will give you more files, you will know it. So throughout the next several weeks, we will do this part. So get ready for that. So it's basically once you get the feel of it, it's very easy. Right, so with that, I will stop.